At Dynojet, we're all about pushing the limits of performance. Today, we've come to Appleton, Wisconsin to visit one of our most trusted partners, Fuel Moto.
Hey, Jamie from Fuel Moto here today.
Jamie and Lucas from Fuel Moto today.
Talk about exhaust system.
Everything about Dynojet Power Vision.
How to read and interpret a dyno chart.
Run by Jamie and the Long family, Fuel Moto has built a reputation for excellence in the motorcycle performance world. Their dedication to delivering top-tier tuning and customer service is unmatched. You'll see them active on their socials, as well as deep in the Harley-Davidson forums, keeping customers up to date on the latest changes and updates in the tuning world. They've been a key part of the Dynojet family for years, using our products, like the Dynojet dynamometer and Power Vision tuners, to bring out the best in every bike they touch. We're here to meet up with Jamie and family to see how they rely on Dynojet products to run their business. For the past few weeks, Jamie has also been beta testing the latest addition to our Power Vision 4, AutoTune. It's our newest feature that takes fuel management and tuning to a whole new level. In this exclusive behind-the-scenes look, we'll hear how it's been performing in the real world. It's available now on iOS devices with Android support coming very soon. Join us as we dive into how Fuel Moto uses Dynojet products to tune, test, and perfect some of the coolest hogs on the road, continuing their legacy as one of the most trusted names in motorcycle performance.
Hello, Jackson. I met you at the auction, Mecum in Vegas. Have you met Dan Burkus?
Jamie Long, Fuel Moto, longtime motorcycle enthusiast. Been in business over 20 years in the motorcycle industry. Actually been in the motorcycle industry for about 30 since I dropped out of college, which my parents really loved. I started working at shops, and in 1996 I actually started tuning on Dynojet dynos. Japanese sport bike 4-cylinders and V2 and Ducati stuff. And then through the racing career, did that until the early 2000s, and got to a point where I just wanted to do it on my own. So I was really doing the same thing for the dealerships. You know, we had put a dyno in, work on stuff there, and that segued into start my own deal. I even tuned some of the higher up AMA guys for a little while there, and did some of that stuff in the 90s, and developed my craft for tuning, and it's something I was really liked and ended up being pretty damn good at, I guess. And that kind of led my way into, I was probably an early pioneer in fuel injection stuff when people didn't really know how it worked, including myself. And I already had a rapport and relationship with Dynojet, and then this thing called the Power Commander came out. So I very early on, we're talking like 2000, 2001 era, I was already the Power Commander guy through the kind of Midwest here. And I was using a dyno down in Madison, Wisconsin for a lot of the racers and even some street bike guys that would take their stuff down there. Met some of the foundation people that are still at Dynojet today that I work with and talk with every day. Met them back in the early 2000s, and that from that point I took the kind of the Fuel Moto thing to the next level, and here we are.
Oh, you were saying there's a spot in the building for it. Yeah, this was going to be a car dyno. Maybe one day it will.
And then we have stuff in the next building over now. Another air unit because we had a mobile dyno.
Yeah.
But we were initially going to do a car dyno.
Yeah.
And about 10 minutes after we said we were going to do it, people started calling, and their friends of friends and buddies of friends of friends, and I'm like, there's no way this will ever work. Okay. I just wanted to put it in the ground and use it for our own stuff.
Yeah. But suddenly, it took off. Yeah.
But I don't know if you have other people have this. So this controls the makeup air in the furnace and whether or not we take cold air or heated air in. This controls the actual makeup air reverse blower, and this is the drive for it. So we can set the temp on here. It's actually turned off right now, but I can set the temp at wherever. And then once you turn this on, this takes a little bit to power up, and this is the tailpipe fan. So it takes a little bit to fire up. Close the doors once. It's got a full unit here. I can set the air pressure by inches of water.
Yeah.
So I can. This will basically vary
differential between the one pushing it in and one pulling it out.
Okay, yeah,
So I mean, if I want to,
And you can put it 50-50, 60-40, you kind of do whatever you want.
if I want to change it up,
Yeah.
it'll move that needle. If I want to, watch it. Let's slow this one down and speed that up.
Yeah. Dude, that's really cool. And how do you dictate what you want? Like,
We know where we'll leave it. That's where we leave it. It sets it at relative.
yeah.
So we want it, if you set it here at about a tenth of an inch of water, it'll stay at about total relative pressure.
It's about what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty strong.
Holy shit.
We can turn those off or on.
Put your hand in there.
Take your weatherman right off.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Well, I'm sure you can something up. This is cool. That way these could be set.
So this helps a lot with in the room.
Yeah.
Like when you're in here,
You're always
it
fighting
absorbs
the
it, so it's not how
The reverb
it's
is
not
so
not so sharp. This room is a room inside of a room. I mean, if you look how thick the wall is, it's
Yeah.
like a 10-inch sidewall. So
Yeah.
it's sheeted. It's sheeted. It has sound deadening special insulation. On top of that, it has batting on top of that, and then we put this to absorb. Back then, it was Dynojet was almost like a loose term. You referred to as anything that tuned EFI was a power commander. So that was like, it was a dominant force back then. It was really easy. Everything was alpha N, RPM, throttle position, and the neat thing back then is you could tune everything from an Aprilia to a Harley to a Ducati to a Kawasaki, Yamaha. Everything was the same. So it was really easy to learn a broad base, and that's really what we started our whole business on. Is the foundation of fuel maps and support. And very early on, we learned how to support customers. So we're talking, this is over 20 years ago. We learned that not everybody has the ability to tune, the knowledge and things, and it's not natural. It's all stuff you have to learn, and we found a good way to pass some of our knowledge to customers. And I mean, in the very beginning, I used to have my cell phone was at the end of our voicemail. I had toddlers and babies, and I'm sitting at IHOP or at Applebee's on a Friday night or a Sunday morning having pancakes, talking on the phone on somebody with their power commander or an exhaust system or things. And Harley was something that just kind of happened as a natural evolution. When we got to that 06, 07 era, we started doing some Harleys, and by 2008 is when the stock market and everything went crazy.
Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%. The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
Metric stuff just shut off. So we were already pretty established in the Harley world. We're getting there, and with the advantage we had, our number one advantage that looking back is a lot of people were at the infancy of learning EFI. I was already 10 years in. One of the first things that happened was we got in the Harley world, and people are like, oh, how can they make this power? How can they do this? How are they doing this? Well, some of it was it was natural because some of the stuff was so far off in left field. We were fortunate enough on the Harley world to get to meet some really cool people right out of the gate that helped us know what was what, which direction go on stuff. I mean, camshaft on a Harley is way different than an R1 Yamaha. And then the first step there was the tuning. Then the second step was exhaust systems, where we were working with a few companies and selling some stuff. And we said, well, wow, we can really make this work better if it does this baffle or that collector or whatever. And at the same time, this new trend was e-commerce. Like at first it was eBay, like in the early 2000s, in the mid 2000s, there was websites, but nobody trusted websites. We were doing eBay. I mean, there were times we sold a lot of stuff on there. 2005, 2006, we had been in business a few years. I was at a trade show and eBay was there, and they came up with their, come on in here, come and show you. And they said to kind of look up your account. All of a sudden they're calling people around. Like, well, what's going on? What's going on? He says, this guy has a 10,000 feedback and he's never had a negative one. Not one. This was the old school eBay. You couldn't remove feedbacks. They weren't, it was 100% organic.
Real, yeah.
It was real. And we were at 10,000 before we'd had no negatives. And they said, we've never seen this. Like maybe a big trophy, But that's just the way we looked at it. And then we determined after a not too long period that if we're gonna really do this how we wanna do it and establish a business, and I mean, my whole vision was to have an X amount of employees, and do this as a foundation so we can support some, not just my family, but a few families. And so we decided we're gonna expand and do this, and that's where the e-com stuff really started.
You are developing a specific kit for me with my Milwaukee 8.
Yep.
And I say, hey, I want a big bore and I want it to make 200 bores. You say, no problem. Here's your heads, pistons.
Yeah, we'll give you a combination that meets what
Yeah.
you're looking for. A lot of the times, like, it's a funny question they ask is that I want the top number.
Yeah.
A lot of times we have to kind of back into that and go, do you really want this or need this, or do you really want this? And a lot of times we work closely with what they want. 140 to 170 horsepower range is kind of our bread.
But the phone call starts at 200 horse.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Back into, it's kind of the
we'll build them. We'll build. If they want 200 horse, we'll do it.
Sure.
But it all really depends what they want. Made the sign.
That's where Hourigan would sit.
Right, whatever. Not the two-stroke.
It'll be napping soon.
Yeah. Well, his arm's tired from moving the steering wheel? Totally.
I probably have $50,000 worth of OEM GSXR body panels that would be worth street value.
Yeah.
Bunch of shit I got is new old stock.
Yeah.
In boxes and things and pieces and parts. That's a new old stock gas tank.
So at heart, at the end of the day, I hear Jamie is a Suzuki GSXR guy.
I'm a GSXR guy.
Yep. Anything in your formative years that made you that?
Just racing.
Yeah.
Being around stuff.
Yeah.
They're super cool.
Got a Busa?
Yeah,
Ooh.
0 miles, never started.
What year? R1. So 98 was the first year, but this is still same body, so
Yeah.
the titanium exhaust, that's a big deal.
Yep.
You could get tie or carbon at one point.
Yep. Yeah, this one's 0 miles, never started. This is my office. That's the most important office of the place.
Yes.
That's where the boss sits. That's my buddy.
But Lucas?
Hey.
What's up?
How you been?
Good, how are you?
Hey Lucas. Hey. Jackson, I met you before, I think out in Vegas.
Yeah, basically I was pretty much born into it. So since Jamie took Fuel Moto in the direction more so the V-twin side of things, I was here. By that time when I started 19, it was well established in that realm, and it's just something where I've always watched and been involved and active in working on stuff and kind of getting into using certain tuning software and devices and that sort of thing. I've always kind of used that stuff recreationally for my own stuff, bikes, cars, whatever as well. So just to kind of know everything from every angle, get in on the tuning stuff, understand what kind of recipes and parts to use, just know how to work on this stuff is all really important, and it's fun to be on multiple facets of it. But mainly the tuning side of things is kind of what we do on a daily basis, since it's a little bit more niche, and it's kind of what separates us from most indie shops.
How old are you?
23.
Okay, same with Paul. I'm always old, tired dad guy. I'm 44 now, right? And it's like, I'm like, Paul, get a dual sport. It's so cool. And he's like, it's fucking lame. I'm buying an R6.
Yeah.
It's lame. It's fun.
Yeah, it all depends too. I mean, the market definitely is diversified.
Yeah,
though,
for
because
sure.
when I was in high school or a little bit younger, my older sister, her and her friends in that group, she had a bike. She had a Ninja 300 when she was in high school, and there was a huge group. I mean, even then still, there was so many, and everyone had a 600.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, of
some
course.
guys, a little bit older guys would have a leader bike.
Yeah.
When they graduated high school.
But the 600s were like the shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone had it was a Japanese 600.
A period,
Everyone.
yeah.
And now
Yeah.
it's most of the bikes you see, if they're sport bikes, a lot more of the Euro stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of those, people just want to spend money on BMWs and Ducatis now, and Yamahas.
Traditionally, we've been, Power Vision centric, with the original Power Vision since 2011.
The Power Vision from Dynojet is a new flash tuner that incorporates a touchscreen display with a simple menu-based interface that'll unlock your Harley's performance. The device gives you the ability to tune your fuel.
Nearly every single bike we've done since then, with a few other tuners mixed in, which are good too. We've been real Power Vision centric. Well, then, as it's a 10-year-old product. So at the time it was getting a little, not long in a tooth on features and such, but some of the hard parts that were inside the device. So we knew there was going to be future products, and PV3 was already released for Indians, and said, well, it makes sense to run that in parallel with the original Power Vision. And at the time there was some differences, but Dynojet again did a really good job of making the stuff the same. And I know, working with Dynojet every day, it's always been their vision to get everything under the hood of one station. That's really was very, very important. So an exciting project, as you know, was the PV4, because a lot of people especially the earlier generation that's coming into the market. They're really mobile centric. They like using their mobile device. I myself do too. So they came out with the PV4. The features that are now going to be integrated into PV4, again, I want to call it, it's really taking the product to the next level. And I think myself, it's really going to be that direction going forward. I mean, I can really see it. And to be honest, I was a person that I was a little bit skeptical of all the cloud-based, the file services and all things, but his work's flawless now for 2 years. For that part of it, really that makes it super easy for us. And then with some of the auto-tuning, on-device stuff, really what we've done is you've put all the PVOG features into the PV4 now. And it'll, it's way easier to add features to it through the app instead of having to go back and develop stuff for a 10-year-old product. The new major updates that's happening here is going to be probably the biggest groundbreaking update for sure since the release, maybe even since the release of PowerVision. It puts a lot more power into your mobile device. Not only can you log, like you have gauges, you can view just like a PowerVision, but now you're going to have AutoTune, and you're also going to have QuickTune in there. So the biggest thing with the AutoTune is the AutoTune is an enhanced version of the original AutoTune. That's, we've taken years of what's been learned and went back and forth and found, and it allows for better data computation, where it's going to allow you to make more accurate corrections, log data better, and basically streamline your tune. The other thing that it does for us, it allows, if you have a PV4 with AutoTune, it allows us to see not just your logs, but also your corrected tune. So, and that's all through the cloud. You can, we'll be able to go back and forth with that without having to, go through emails, and, a lot of times we're going into people's computers remotely and things like that. It just allows us to give a better level of service on that. And like I said, it's probably the best form of AutoTune we've seen, the most accurate. And what a lot of people don't understand is the data's all the same, whether you're on a dyno or on the street. It's all coming from the ECU back from the engine. So it's all what you do with it. So there's no reason why, if you have a close base map and you auto-tune it, you get it very, very close to the same results as on a dyno.
What is a key competitive advantage that Fuel Moto has in the motorcycle tuning space?
For sure, our experience and amount of bikes that we've tuned physically in-house and remotely.
I would say it's probably the amount of testing we do. For every, say, product or engine kit we put out there, for every one, we probably test 20, 30, or 50.
The amount of not only bikes we've used from all sorts of different year ranges, but also the parts that we've used on those bikes. We're a shop that kind of prides ourselves on not just pushing one specific recipe or product. We got, half a dozen brands or more of camshafts that we sell a ton of. It doesn't matter if it could be a camshaft exhaust or everything, and we got the dyno spinning all the time and trying to see what we come up next, and we take what we learn and we pass it on to the customer. We have a massive tune library and repository because of that, and that's provided people all over, whether you're someone who does an exhaust and an air cleaner on your bike and just wants to flash it, have something that makes it run well and just out of the box, or someone who wants to do a ground up 143 build or hot 128, whatever it might be, M8 twin cam. We have good base tunes to start people with, so it can just be for heat cycles. It can be a good way to get a basic setup dialed in, or even for guys that need to bring it to a dyno tuner that want to dial it in. A lot of dyno tuners will start there with our calibrations as a good base, and that's a great way to shorten the tuning process.
As we wrap up, we want to extend a huge thank you to Jamie and the entire Long family here at Fuel Moto for welcoming us into their shop. We've seen firsthand how they push the limits of performance with the help of Dynojet products, from our dynamometers to our tuning solutions, like the PowerVision 4. Jamie's feedback on the new PV4 AutoTune has been invaluable as we work to give riders the best tools to enhance their rides. Fuel Moto's passion for performance combined with our commitment to innovation makes this partnership something truly special. Whether you're a seasoned rider or new to tuning, we encourage you to check out Fuel Moto and see how they can help take your bike to the next level. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay tuned.